I wanted to do film. I'll get it for you tomorrow. I'm still going through the all 22. But old Curtis did 2 podcasts yesterday, an article for Finn's News, a live, and I was working on my novel. So it was Friday. Just kind of found my brain noon. But I want to get into some stuff. I made some evaluations in my after game, and I was wrong. I'm going through the numbers here, the facts. I got graphics to show you how this thing played out. And what I do here is not to tell you, but to show you so you can come to an evaluation, not based on emotion. I'm going to get into Tua and Fields to show you something between the 2 quarterbacks, the framework, the setup. I'm going to show you the offensive line, the defense, and the run game. And then I'm going to get some film for you tomorrow. So that's the whole deal. Anyway, let's dig into it here. So this graphic right here is Tua. Okay, it's a lot of stuff. I'll parse through it. But the red box at the top, PRM, is pass rush mitigation. It's the combination of play actions and screens. Guys, we ran 57.9% pass rush mitigation. And pass rush mitigation means you're doing things to protect your quarterback. You're doing things to protect the protection. Blitzed. Tua was blitzed 35.7%. Now the pressure next to PRS was 35.7%. And if you saw a blitz rate equal to the pressure rate, that would be a good day for the protection. But when you add PRM of 57.9%, that is like, it's like adding steroids. It's adding extra help, and so it lowers the value of this. Now, I'm going to compare this to Fields. Now, the TTT, no screen time. For a while, I've done time to throw, clean time to throw, and then some people were saying, well, there's so many screens, it changes that. And it was a fair eval. So I've now got it where the screens are taken out so you can see how fast we're throwing. Okay, so we threw 2.35 seconds, which is very, very fast. The number does go up. So his clean time to throw is 1.99. When you pull those screens out, that's what you get. Now, Tua had 1 big time throw. He had 1 turnover worthy play. Yards per attempt, 7.1. Average depth of target was only 5.5. So there was some rack involved. He had a decent game. But the interesting part is if you look on his graph, you'll see at the very top below my little red box, you'll see kept clean. And then if you go to the middle on the grades, it says pass. And when it was clean, he only had 55 grading by PFF, but under pressure, 84. So he was substantially better under pressure. Now, we'll take a look at Fields to kind of show the difference. So they gave him 20% pass rush mitigation, almost 1/3 what Tua got. He was blitzed almost the same amount as Tua, 34.3%. Pressure was 57.1%. And so it would be very easy if you just look at these stats to say, well, you know, he was under a lot more pressure than Tua. But if you go to the next one, TT no screen, he had 1 screen pass, and his time to throw was 3 seconds. So it was almost a full half a second more. And if you go back over, right on the blitz, you'll see pass, kept clean, 67.6%, under pressure, 35.5%. And so what this says, the Jets don't have a good OC. They didn't protect this kid. They let the offensive line kind of deal with things, but he could not process. The pressure of 57%, a lot of that was from him not processing because the blitzes were coming in, so there was thin secondaries. And so he just stood there and he got pressure. And so while the pressure rate is something to pay attention to, you also have to figure his processing and the time to throw. The longer that clock goes up, and 3 seconds is extraordinarily long, then you have to tie the quarterback in. But then when the pressure came, he did much less than Tua. Now, I'm not saying Tua is greatest under pressure. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just trying to show you what went down. But when you go through it and you see that 57 pass rush mitigation, that means play actions, keeping bodies in, running screens to keep the pressure off, and then you factor in the offensive line production. What I'll get into, people are saying the offensive line was good, but it wasn't. So let's take a look at the offensive line. So you can see this Image right here. And this is all of our blocking. All right, so I marked it up. And purple, if you look under the player's name, purple means the best game, an exceptional game. And Julian Hill has strung together a bunch of good games. This was his best game as far as blocking in both pass and run. Tana, I might have to start remembering this guy's name. He had a good game blocking as well. I'll get into the actual grades who performed, but the worst guys in the protection group was Cole Strange, Alec Ingold, Larry Borum, and Jonah Savaiinaea. I'll break down the exactitude of it. Patrick Paul, number one, his run blocking wasn't good. His pass blocking was exceptional. You can look and you'll see in the purple box next to that, his efficiency was 100, 0 pressures. So he's doing phenomenal and doing what he's supposed to, is protect the quarterback. Got to get better in the run blocking. Then Julian Hill, no pressures. He got a 79 grade in both run block and pass block. Exceptional day. Julian Hill might be getting it, and that's big for the Dolphins. Then go down to Tanakana, green box, solid, 64.6 in run blocking and 68.7 in pass blocking. No pressures. Aaron Brewer struggled in the run block. You can see 62.6, pass blocking 66.1, one pressure, 98.2 efficiency, which is good. Around 98 is what you want. Cole Strange, he did pretty good in the run blocking. I think it flipped to later on. If I remember right, I got to go back to the film. But his pass blocking, 38.5, two pressures, 96.4 efficiency. No bueno. Alec Ingold, 54.2 run blocking, 16.9 pass blocking, one pressure, 83.3. That's terrible. Larry Borum, he had some good run blocks, but his grade wasn't overall that good, 57.7. 15.1 pass block grade, four pressures, 92.9. Not good. Jonah, he had some good blocks mixed with some bad blocks, 62.1, but a 10.5 pass blocking grade with three more pressures, 14 on the season through 4 games, 94.6. And you can go back and you'll see Waller did okay with the 59.2. Dwayne Eskridge, 84.3. Malik Washington, not good, 34.5. Tyreek Hill, 59.9. Hines Westbrook, Nick Westbrook, Ikene, 76.4. And that says something about what we're going to do going forward, and that's good news. Waddle, 38.4. So when you tie in the pass, the amount of bodies kept in and the way they schemed up for this offensive line, you got 11 pressures and 25 passes. That's not good. It's bad. And they aren't noted for being great at the pass rush. And they bought a lot of blitz, and they played a lot of man. The way they protected Fields, I just don't like a lot of the calls for him. I didn't think the OC did a good job. And the DC, I don't think did a good job either. I don't understand how you can call what you were calling against us when you're getting burnt. The number one in man, I think on third down or something. The number one team in man coverage. It's a bad idea for you to bring it to our team. Now, I'll get into the rush direction here. The green is where we had more yards before contact than we had after contact. Left end, one rush, we got it there. Left end, while we had 5.1 yards per carry, 3.57 was after contact. So that gives you about 1.5 yards before contact, which is below good. Left tackle, one run for 1 yard. That wasn't a good one. Anybody boxing that up. Left guard, though, and Jonah had some plays, and also Brewer, and also a Brewer. We had 4.3 and 1.25 after contact. So you're talking about 3 yards before contact. That is a good sign going forward. I got to go into the details of the film. Middle left, 2.9 with 3.43 after contact. So we had negative yards before contact on 7 plays. Middle right, we got 7 yards per carry, but 7.33 was after contact. That is no bueno. Right end, 2.3, 4.6 after contact. That is another no bueno. And when you look down at the bottom, those 2 red box, 3.9 on a day and 3.13 was yards after contact. So we were getting 0.7 yards before contact. That's not what you're supposed. You got to get at least 2 something for a good day. And so while we got the runs, the yardage, a lot of it was the backs, the schemes, the calls, and the Jets. Not the 32nd worst missed tackle team in the league. They missed more tackles than anybody, and they're not noted to be a good run defense. And so you have to understand the offensive line, the philosophy was right, but against better teams, it's not going to be the same way. But we still got to run that football because the philosophy's right. If not, they're going to pin the ears back and we'll kind of look like we did. But this offensive line is struggling greatly. And I'll leave the best or worst for last, the defense. All right, so I blocked this thing all up. There's a lot of things here. It can get confusing, but I'll parse it out. So the red, when you look on the player's name all the way to the left, that's guys who did not play well. Guys in the blue boxes played well, although within certain aspects, they might not have been excellent. So starting at the top, Rasul Douglas, 43.9 run defense, 37.6 tackling. Not good, but if you see his coverage grade, he had the best coverage grade, and he had good pass rush. So overall, it's a good game for a cornerback. Jack Jones, I thought, had maybe the best game. You could see his run defense, 84.8, tackling, 81, 66.7 pass rush, 72.9 coverage. He had a day, most notably, with that fumble he caused. Minkah Fitzpatrick, he was struggling. He kind of came back. He was good in the run defense, not so good in pass rush or coverage, and struggled hard in the tackling. We had a lot of struggling in tackling. Willie Gay, only a couple plays. Jordan Brooks, 76.8 tackling and 75.6 run defense. Very good in the run defense, not so great in coverage, not so great in pass rush with 58.9 and 52.2. Matthew Judon, he had a couple of plays. He did good in his tackling, not much elsewhere. Sealer picked it up and ended up with one of the best run defensive grades from an interior, 70.6 and 71.6 in his tackling. Not so good in the pass rush. Coverage, I don't know why he's even in coverage. Cornell Armstrong, Malafanu, both had missed tackles, sort of average, although Malafanu put some pressure on with a 68.4. Chubb, he was good in run defense, but he struggled in his tackling, coverage, but you can't expect him to cover. Dotson, good in run defense, not so good in tackling with 60.5, but his 90.6. They mentioned in the game, he applied a lot of pressure, and he had 1 sack on the day. Not a lot of pressures, but he had that 1 sack. I guess he didn't have a lot of responsibilities for that. And then his coverage grade, which is big for a linebacker, was 36.1. Benito Jones, not good. Jordan Phillips, where I was wrong. I thought the 2 Phillips guys did good, but they did not. Jordan Phillips, right there, 54.5 run defense and 26 tackling, 1 missed tackle. Elijah Campbell, another not good. He had a 1 missed tackle, 27.3, and not a good coverage grade of 54.3. Jalen Phillips, 30.9 run defense, but he had a 71.2 tackling grade, so he struggled But his pressures, he got 4 pressures on the day, led the team 71.8, and his coverage grade was really good. Remember the one where he dropped and he was a big, I think it was to Wilson over the middle. His coverage grade was outstanding, but he struggled in the run defense. Butler, he was bad in run defense, but he was able to tackle, got some pressure. Ashton Davis, not good in coverage, not good in run defense, but he could tackle. Kenneth Grant, abysmal day, 32.3. Run stop grade, 59 pass rush. Chop Robinson, another bad day. Although he had pressures, he had 52.4, 22.8, 46.3. Likely he's got the 3 pressures in the low grade because he wasn't maximizing what he was doing. There was a couple of times he was there, but over the course of many snaps, it was not good. And then Dante Trader, bad day, bad coverage, 34.4. Tackling, 22.6. Run stop is manageable at 60. But if you look at the very, very bottom, we had 26 pressures, which is very good, but Fields was sitting there holding the ball for almost 3 seconds. Okay, so his hits were 2. That's not sacks were 2, which is pretty good. 23 hurries, which is good. But then you look at the tackling, 43 tackles, but 12 missed tackles. And that was a big piece of the puzzle. But we did get stops, 19 stops. And his reception, the reception percentage was 74.1. So it shows you we had lots of missed tackles. We couldn't really cover, and we got a lot of pressure because the quarterback was holding it very high. So overall, the defense does struggle. A lot of it's missed tackles, but a lot of it's just not being good in the run defense, and the coverage is poor. And so when you get a better quarterback and a good offensive line in a run game, it doesn't bode well for this defense. But when you look at the whole picture, you could see that McDaniel running that football moved the game along. It kept the balance. You could even see McDaniel and Tua looking more confident. And so the best part of the game was McDaniel's ability to run the football, stick to the running the football, and not give up on it. And then Tua having a pretty darn good day. Running backs added a huge piece to that puzzle because the offensive line didn't do good. Their yards after the contact. Ali had a good game, just the yards weren't there. Achane, his speed, was able to take advantage of the missed tackles and find space. And the tight end group. And so hopefully this tight end group will keep going forward because it will uplift. It's a big piece of the run game. But this defense isn't good, guys. And the offensive line's not good. But with good running backs sticking to it and tight ends picking up their play, this could bode well. Not saying Super Bowl, not saying playoffs, but in what we're doing. So that's the overall grades. I'll get some film, look to see if it matches what I see here. But this is what it is. Poor offensive line that needs to be protected. Good running backs. A quarterback that if you kind of put him in the right framework, he can be successful and get you over that hump. We got to see going forward receivers who can do some stuff, a good run blocking receiver in Westbrook, Kynes, and then Waller who can really do some stuff. How long can he go for it? But on defense, we're a mess. We are a mess. So, that's the whole deal. Hope you enjoyed. Curtis saying, be well, go Fins. Curtis out. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.